Welcome in on this Monday morning. We're celebrating graduation with members of Bryan High School. And with me today, I have several guests. In fact, this is going to be a situation where we have so many guests, we're going to do a couple different interviews on Zoom to be able to feature everybody that we want to get a chance to talk to. But let's start out with the new superintendent of schools, Mark Rarick. How's that, Mark? First of all, congratulations.
Hey, Jim, I appreciate it. It's very humbling and exciting at the same time to enter into a new role and look forward to all that's going to happen here at Bryan City Schools. So we thank you for the congratulations, but also we want to look today to celebrate our wonderful class of 2020 because they are resilient is the word I would describe them as. So we're looking forward to having some fun conversation with you and hearing some of their memories and all that they've been through in their very unique senior year.
No doubt. Also, high school principal Steve Oswald. Steve, good to have you with us.
Jim, good to be here.
This has had to be kind of a crazy year for a guy that was trying to run a high school, I would think.
It's been interesting. I don't know, crazy is a relative term, but I can definitely say it's been an interesting year for the whole educational process, and not just us here, but for middle school and elementary and all the schools around the country.
And if you want to know the definition of crazy for all the folks on social media, just look up in the top left-hand corner, the one that says Jim Funderburg. If the year has looked a lot like that, Steve and Mark and Veronica, then it has been a crazy year. How's that?
That works.
Well, thank you.
Veronica Arthur, also an English teacher and confidant to all the seniors, I think, out there. Veronica, you have taken the way of the black screen today. You're kind of hiding on us here a little bit today.
Yep, I am. Yep.
That's okay. We'll allow you to. How's that?
Thank you for that. Yep.
It's been a lot of fun, though. I know you get to interact with a lot of these folks every day. So it has had to be a challenge, I would think, this year.
It was. Definitely as a classroom teacher, but I was also starting my fourth year as the senior class advisor for this group of kids. And so we were trying real hard to find a way to still do some meaningful and memorable things during an unprecedented absence from school.
Yeah. Boy, what was it like to be a teacher and not be able to teach?
Very difficult. Your heart goes out to kids that really thrive in the classroom setting. Some kids are already very comfortable with technology and that kind of instruction, but some aren't. And the wise words of Steve Oswald, everybody kind of has their own story, and you kind of have to make allowances that not everybody's situation is the same. So you're trying to meet a lot of educational needs, but be aware that kids also have, a lot of other needs during that time too. And specifically, they miss being with each other and they miss being in the school setting. So it was tough on a lot of fronts to try to be a good teacher during that time. And
oh man. I heard from so many of my teaching friends that they just wanted to get back in the classroom. They missed the kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Steve, I bet you heard that quite a bit from your staff.
I did, and for myself personally, I really enjoyed the interaction with the students and the chance to see them and to talk. And one of the big parts of what we do is that interaction with our students. And to not be able to do that really just kind of leaves an empty space in your life.
Yeah, I bet it does. Mark, how tough was it to be able to keep all the troops on your end, because you're talking to the administrators and also the teachers probably on a day-to-day basis. How hard was it to keep morale and all up for those couple of months?
I'll tell you what, Jim, for the time span that we entered into remote learning, I felt like all of us, our administrative teams, our teachers, even our students at times, were working double, if not triple the amount of time to make sure that we were covering all our bases, because we wanted to ensure that we were having appropriate communication with all parties so that people were aware. But we also at the same time had to have felt like at some points 7 to 10 alternative plans in motion, not knowing exactly how this was going to pan itself out. So you were constantly planning for the unknown and just trying to work your way through that. So it was an incredible amount of time invested, but all for the reasons that we wanted to see our students be able to go through and be as successful as possible during these completely unique and unprecedented times.
Do you think you accomplished what you were aiming for?
Yeah, looking back, we obviously learned a lot through the entire process. We even did some surveys along the way, and we're going to do even some post surveys coming out here in the near future. But we were able to, our goal was to maintain what our students have learned already in education, and if we could enhance what they were learning along the way, fantastic. We also knew that we were facing barriers that we had never seen before, and that's, does every family have internet connectivity? Does every student have the ability to find and maneuver their way independently through assignments versus having that face-to-face interaction like they're used to and that guidance from their teachers? So we had success and we saw a lot of great outcomes from this, but we also learned a lot along the way. And if we ever have to go into this in the future, which we're hoping we don't, but if we have to, then we'll have some guidance to help us make that process even better into the future.
Steve, do you think there are some things that you've incorporated into your learning process this year that you'll continue to do even after we open up the doors?
I would say yes. I mean, for both the students and the staff, the increased use of technology. We've always had the gift here in Bryan of being able to being one-to-one and having technology available at our fingertips on a daily basis. But it's kind of like, driving a car. You always have a car available, but then suddenly you have to take that car and you need to do something with it that you've never done before. And that's what we did with technology. We took it to a whole new level. And I think between the whole remote learning process, teachers have learned some new ways to do some things. Students have learned some new ways to do some things. Whether, does everything have to fit into the traditions that we always knew them to be? No. And with that advantage and that new knowledge, we're moving forward and able to, as we go into next school year, look at things. We'll have some more flexibility, I believe, and the ability to incorporate this technology into lessons in ways that we weren't doing prior to this, because we just didn't think about we have that need.
Veronica, we have really been doing a disservice to our two friends at the bottom of our screen right now. We woke up two seniors, early on a Friday morning to interview them, and then I forced them to sit down there on the bottom of the screen, and wait and wait and wait, and neither one of them even have a cup of coffee in their hand right now. So why don't you do the honors of introducing the two seniors that we have with us right now?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so proud to do that. Erica Grimm is one of our recent BHS graduates. She served as the class of 2020 class president for the last 4 years. I think maybe, I don't know if all 4 years she might have run unopposed, but she was the unanimous choice for class president. She's very accomplished, and I'm excited that she's with us today. And Brooks Brown is no stranger to a lot of people in Bryan. He started out as a student council member for the class of 2020 and switched over as a class officer and was really, really active at Bryan in sports as well as sort of the student government, student council world. So he'll be a great spokesman today for his class as well.
Sounds good. Erica, let's start with you. I mean, running unopposed, guys, you must be a political force. Are there politics in your future?
Oh, no, definitely not. No, I'm going into education next year, secondary education. Definitely nowhere near politics.
Brooks, what was it about her that caused her to run unopposed like that? I mean, is she that intimidating walking through the halls of Bryan High School?
She did a great job her first couple of years. So I think people realize, hey, there's no chance that they're going to beat her out.
Yeah. That's it. She's the unmovable force, I guess, what you're saying.
Thanks,
Fantastic. Erica, let's start. How difficult was it the last couple months for you?
Honestly, I mean, I would say the most difficult thing was just everyone coming to me for questions and answers, and really we're all in the same boat. Even admin, like there are questions that they just didn't have answers to, and me being like in the middle of it and trying to get information out to classmates and reaching out to admin when we're really all in the same position, and there wasn't anything I could do as president, even though everyone was looking to me as their class leader. We're all pretty much stuck in the same boat. So there was really nothing I could do as a president, even though everyone was looking to me for answers.
Yeah, that has to make it tough. There's no doubt. Brooks, the last couple months, have they been difficult for you as well?
Yeah, I kind of miss we missed out on a lot of stuff that we kind of look forward to. Especially for me playing baseball, it was kind of tough to not get to play that last season, but it is what it is, and at least we got to do graduation and stuff like that.
Yeah, you had a good baseball team too. It was going to be a great season, I think.
Yeah, we were looking forward to it.
No doubt about that. Graduation, tell me a little bit about it, Brooks. It did seem to go off without a hitch. Was it a good ceremony?
I thought it was really well done. It ran a lot smoother than I think a lot of people thought, with everyone being in cars. But I thought it went well, and the parade was super fun.
Yeah, Erica, it seemed like the people of Bryan really came out to support you as you had your parade.
Yeah, I thought it went really well, and I think the parade is something that they should continue to do. It was really nice to just see different community members that weren't able to be part of the ceremony, and just being able to see them and how much they appreciate you and how much they're there for you was a really great feeling. So I think they should definitely keep doing that. It was really cool.
How much have you missed your friends, Erica, over the last couple of months, or have you been able to see some of them?
I haven't seen very many of them. I've been missing them a lot. I'm a very social person, and I'm really involved with school activities and extracurriculars, so I've been missing them a lot, definitely.
Brooks, yourself, have you seen many of your friends in the last 6 weeks or so?
I've seen a few here and there through different activities, but I saw a lot of them at graduation, which was nice. But it's definitely been hard not seeing all the people that I saw for the last 13 years and was friends with.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this has been a difficult time. There's no doubt. Brooks, where you say, are you going to Ohio State? Is that what I heard you say a minute ago?
Yeah, I'm going to Ohio State to major in biology with a focus in pre-optometry.
There you go. Now, I will pass this along to you as I passed it along to somebody the other day. My son actually teaches microbiology. He's a professor at Ohio State.
Oh, really?
So if you get a guy named Funderburg, okay, you're allowed to go up and say, hey, your old man said, give me a good grade, okay? All right?
Will do.
I have very little pull with most people, but, you know, I do know where he lives. And you know, as my mom used to say to me, I brought you in here, I can take you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can do that one thing for all of our graduating seniors that are going to at least have a science lean down at Ohio State University and need to take biology at some point in time, or microbiology. So if you take that and you see Funderburg down there, you know there's a good grade awaiting you. How's that?
Sounds good.
Erica, where are you heading next year?
I'm going to Bowling Green, and I'm majoring in secondary education.
Ah, there you go. And why Bowling Green? What took you to BG?
I mean, I guess I initially toured there just because they're known for their education program, but I really just liked the campus and the atmosphere, and I liked the size of it. It's not big OSU, and it's not like a really small school, so it was kind of just in the middle, which I liked.
Now, I'm going to tell you this, take a lot of warm clothes. I went to Ohio University a long time ago, okay, and down on the hills in Athens, it never got very cold down there, okay? And then I had a buddy who was at Bowling Green, and he invited me up for the weekend to come on up, bring your roommates and come on up to BG. And everything you had to do up there was outside, walking from here to there, and it's just flat as a fritter, okay? And it was cold, and it was warm in Athens when I left. It was cold in BG when I got there, and I swore I would never go back. He had to come down to Athens from that point on. How's that?
Sounds good.
Get your warm clothes.
All right, will do.
Mark, let's get back to talking about these folks a little bit. This senior class, as we said with several of them, they came in with 9/11. They're going out with a pandemic, but it's been a great group, it seems, all around the county.
Oh, yeah. I think I said it earlier. This class is just resilient in all that they've had to face. And it has been very interesting to see how well they handled basically the unknown for the final chapter of their senior year. For them to, like Erica was just saying a little bit ago, even us as administrators, I mean, I think I said it off the air. If you missed 3 hours of news, it felt like you were 3 weeks behind at some point. So for them to be able to change and adapt to all the circumstances that they were faced with, and to go through that, I guess, not knowing what tomorrow brings every day. Resiliency is just the word that pops to mind with how they handled that. And that it's not a shocker to me, as we've had the opportunity to watch them walk the halls now in our setup for many years, not just their high school years, but even beyond that. This class has had a tremendous amount of success over the years, whether that's been in the arts or in the academics. I mean, we just had our scholarship night celebration not too long ago, and the amount of scholarship money that they are taking with them into their next chapters of their life is phenomenal. The athletics, again, we've had NWAL boys and girls championships. We've had league championships. We've had state champions come out with our bowlers. And I mean, we've just had phenomenal success with this group of students. So they have really set the bar and set the standard. Every senior class has that little niche that they kind of leave a legacy on. This senior class has continued to take that bar and raise it even higher. So I know we have amazing students following them, but they're leaving big shoes to fill. So that's kudos to them. And it's been really fun and enjoyable to be a part of all of their successes.
Steve, let's continue on with that, because I know when I graduated from high school, my high school principal said, "Thank goodness you guys are out of here. You were the troublemakers in the school," okay? I'm sure these weren't those kind of folks, but does every class kind of have a different feeling for a high school principal, and what kind of feel did you get out of these guys?
Every class has its own personality. It's amazing, when you try to describe, almost 160 kids as a personality, and it really does. This class, the class of 20, really does have an incredible personality. It started with their freshman year, because they are the first 4-year class from here at this new building. So they came in as true freshmen. They've never set foot inside of the Portland building, so they walked into here and immediately from day one began leaving their footprints and marks on the building. And really, through their freshman and sophomore year, you could see it. You could see that strength that represented the class. And then you clearly saw it last year. I'm not trying to rub salt into the wounds of the class of 19, but there's nothing like watching them as juniors take down the seniors at homecoming. That was a pretty impressive move on their part. And then, just from that point on, they've been there. But also, when you look at the leadership, you were asking about Erica and her as class president. She really had a lot of leadership for this class. She was the voice that reached out to me first and said, "Look, this is what we want as a class." And it was really that message from her. And it was only like 1 or 2 sentences in a huge email that she had sent me. But those 2 sentences really just were so powerful and was just so straight to the point. And that really guided a lot that we did, for the rest of this, to get through this whole pandemic and get to a point where we could offer them something that would be even remotely close to their senior year. But it was really her guidance and her voice representing the whole class of 2020 that really moved me and moved us as administrators forward.
We're celebrating the graduating seniors at Bryan High School for 2020 here on B-Rock and the Q today. Veronica, give me a little bit of insight into these 2 people that maybe we haven't heard so far. You probably know them as well as anybody. Is there anything you could share that we haven't shared already?
I do have some things I can share with you. They're both, Brooks and Erica, they're both two of our top 10% graduates. So they put in a lot of hard work in the classroom over the years and took advantage of a lot of the opportunities that Bryan High School has to offer. I think Brooks did a lot of classes through Northwest State. Another thing that I'm particularly proud of for these two, but also for the class of 2020 as a whole, this isn't something that's probably been talked about a whole lot. Maybe a lot of people wouldn't know this except for me, but both of them were also involved in our workforce development program, our senior internship program. Erica had 2 placements at the high school, middle school. She worked with some gifted students with Mrs. Betsy Zuver in the middle school every day. She also interned in a classroom with Mr. Colin Walker. And Brooks also was active in our internship program this year. He was able to spend some time in his dad, Jason Brown's science classroom on the middle school side. So they were really integral to a lot of what I think we're trying to encourage in our students to kind of give back and use their skills to help younger students. But we probably had, I want to say 50 students involved in the workforce development program this year. And of those 50, about 40 were seniors. And they were all over the community this year. We had somebody at the senior center every day. We had people at area eye doctors. We had students who were raising money for Bryan Baseball Association, to the athletic boosters, kids in classrooms. This is a class of kids who are very community minded. So all of their other accolades, on top of that, I think these are kids who are already showing that they're out there to make a difference in the world.
No doubt. Erica, give me a feel for what you're going to take away from your time at Bryan High School.
I would say, especially with everything else just going on, just the sense of community that our class and Bryan has created. We've always been very inclusive and very goal driven. Like they said, like we've done a lot with sports and arts. Everything we could, we excelled at. So just the drive and the passion that came from my class and the sense of community that we have for each other is definitely something I'll take away.
Brooks, how about yourself?
Pretty much going off of what Erica said, we're just a pretty tight-knit group. We always have been, and that's kind of helped us throughout the community and athletics and the arts, and we've made so many memories that can't be taken away regardless, and I'm just glad that we're such a tight-knit group and community.
All right, now I want to involve the 2 seniors one last time here before we wrap things up. As I think back to my high school days, I still have a couple memories that stick out to me, and it's almost 50 years ago nowadays because I'm an old guy. How's that? You 2 are now about ready to leave the high school. Is there one thing that really just sticks out, that one night that happened, that one event that happened, that one day, that one program that you'll always take with you? Brooks, I'll start with you because I want to end with the president. She's the boss.
I would say I have a couple. I was a part of the 2 state Acme teams. So that over the course of my high school career, those were some of the best nights that I probably had. But also winning homecoming our junior and senior year was tons of fun, and I'll probably never forget that.
Erica, how about yourself?
I'm also involved in marching band, so I would say like the Friday night football games with all of my friends is definitely something I'll remember. And also just like the last 4 months of senior year and graduation and the parade were really, really special just because of the way the community came together. And hopefully we're the first and last class to have a drive-through graduation, but it really will be something to remember. So.
No doubt. Veronica, give me a thought, a remembrance of this group that you'll take with you.
Oh gosh, just I would echo, I think what both Erica and Brooke said. They were a tight-knit group of kids who were very kind They were great role models. Definitely our leadership in our building came from our senior class this year. And like Mr. Ray said, that, these classes behind him have some big shoes to fill, because these were great kids. Just, all around great kids.
No doubt. Mr. Osbald, the high school principal, it is hard to imagine that you've got 4 years under your belt in that brand new school in this graduating class. Are there any things that you had to call them into the principal's office for, or anything that's unusual you'll remember with this bunch?
No, to be truthful, the class of 20, we've always had a good tradition of strong classes here, graduating classes. And like I said earlier, that they've each got their own personality, but the one with the class of 2020 really is their strength, their camaraderie, their combined strength that really helped them do well in all the things. And as Mark said earlier, that really set the bar. That's going to be the amazing part, is watching how other classes have to step up and to the bar that has been set by them.
Man, that's amazing. Last word goes to the new superintendent here today, Mark. It's an unusual time, This is the first time, I hope it's not the last time, that we do maybe a Zoom conference like this with the seniors to celebrate their year. But I'm kind of hoping that we don't have to go through what we've just gone through ever again.
Yeah, we're all hoping to get back to as close to normal as possible, if there is such a thing as normal. But we're all striving for that, and we know that. But I will just say, I take away from this whole process, and our seniors have said this, and they have lived it, that sense of community, that sense of being connected with our peers, our loved ones, our friends, our community members, is now stronger than ever. And if there's a lesson that we've learned through this whole process, it's that we need and we succeed when we are a part of that community, and we all have a hand together in whatever challenge or whatever process we're facing. So the class of 2020 was the poster child for living out the need for that sense of community. And we're going to take that lesson that we've all learned over the last few months and that they have portrayed to us, and we're going to run with that. We're going to make sure that, those relationships that we want to build and the efforts of collaboration and working together, that is the focal point of everything that we do and moving forward. And Bryan City Schools has always done a wonderful job of doing that, but now I feel like this is just a stepping stone into what's leading into more of that. So I just want to thank the senior class and thank everyone for showing us and teaching us how, when a community comes together and when that sense of togetherness is happening, great things can happen no matter what you're faced with. So it's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster. It's not over yet, but it's hopefully the best is still yet to come. But again, kudos to the class of 2020 for being the leaders and showcasing just what it means to face those challenges and be together. And we hope that stays with them forever.
I'm sure it will. Erica and Brooks, congratulations. Best of luck. Brooks, don't forget Funderburg, Funderburg. His name is Nicholas. How's that? Okay. In case you need him, you can look him up when you get to Ohio State. Okay. Erica, have fun over at BG, and remember, take an extra sweater. Veronica, I really appreciate all the things that you do with the students there at the high school, and I know they really appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Osbald, Mr. Eric, keep up the great work with the Bryan City Schools. They're doing a great job. You guys are doing a great job, and you continue to produce wonderful students and wonderful people like the two we have with us right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
That'll wrap up our program today with the Bryan City Schools. I think we're going to have a couple more guests that we'll have in a different segment, but for now, we celebrate the class of 2020 from Bryan High School.
We're celebrating the seniors at Bryan High School again today here on the Q96.5 FM, and I'm lucky enough to have Caleb Zuver and Connor Arthur with me today, and a couple of the graduating seniors from Bryan High School. Caleb, Connor, good to have you with me.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Good to be here.
All right, let's start with Mr. Arthur, because I know Mr. Zuver real well, and I know he can sit there and wait and postulate what he's going to tell us, Connor. But tell me a little bit about how it's been for the last couple of months now, not having a school to go to.
Jim, it hasn't been easy. that transition from being to school every day and enjoying the last few months of our senior year to being at home the entire time, not being able to leave our house. It's been a rough transition, and it was rough for a while, but I think when we take the time to see the bigger picture and everything, you really just see that for what we're giving up, we're saving lives, we're helping other people, and we're just doing a lot of good by sacrificing our senior years. So we see the bigger picture. It's not all bad.
Yeah, it's not all that bad. What have you done for the last couple of months? Anything that was fun?
I don't know. I've enjoyed my time with my family. You know, we've done a lot of stuff. I've enjoyed spending time with my brother and playing some video games with my friends. You know, that's been fun too. I've had a lot of free time on my hands, so that's been fun.
Caleb, talk to me a little bit here, fella. What did you miss the most over the last couple of months?
Well, I pretty much missed something I never got to experience. I think one of the things I really was looking forward to when it comes to my senior year was getting those last couple weeks of anticipation as the year winded down a little bit, and getting to experience just the excitement that we would have as a class and all the events that would go on, like you know, our senior breakfast, prom, stuff like that. And I wish that we could have experienced those, but at the same time, when I look at it as a whole, I think spending time with my family was a great thing as well, and I was happy that I got to do that during this time.
Now, both of you guys were very active in athletics. Okay, both of you lost some spring this year too. Connor, tell me a little bit about not being able to play any sports this spring.
Yeah, it was very hard to not be able to play my senior year of baseball, especially since I feel like we were destined to have a pretty good season. You know, we brought back a lot of guys, and we've all played together since we were little. So it was going to be a really fun year, but it wasn't easy at all, for sure. I mean, losing school wasn't the hardest because, I mean, not everyone likes going to school, but like I enjoyed going to baseball every day. So losing that was very difficult, and it's been hard to swallow that.
And Caleb, you had basketball season. You kind of got to the tournament, and then everything just kind of had the plug pulled on it.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough, and maybe not fortunate enough. I don't know how you want to put it, but I mean, we did get to finish our season. We lost to Defiance, but like you talk about basketball, like I feel for teams like Evergreen, Lima, Shawnee that didn't get to finish their season, and it kind of just ended. That's hard. I can't really imagine, especially the seniors, what that felt like. But I'm glad we finished, before all that got shut down. I'm glad there got to be an end to it. But at the same time, I would have liked to win a couple more games to get to that spot. But
yeah,
for sure.
You guys were so close, Connor. Really, that basketball team was a good one this year too, and you had a lot of things going on. But the last few days, did you guys get any inclination that they were going to pull the plug with the way that they did on the season?
No, I don't think we did necessarily because, I mean, obviously we won the sectional title, which was pretty cool for us. But after we won that game and then after losing to Defiance, our season was done. So I know Caleb and I, at least, we went to other tournament games around the area because it's fun to watch other teams play and stuff. And when it all just shut down all of a sudden and there were tournament games being held with no fans or limited fans, and then they just pulled the plug, it was pretty shocking because nothing like that has ever seemed like it could just happen so suddenly. So, yeah, it was really shocking to see it happen.
Guys, how far back do you guys go? When did you meet one another?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I'll start, Cornwell.
There you go. You start.
I remember the first time that I met Connor I think it was at the YMCA. I was in the daycare, and he recently just moved from Kentucky. And my mom being an English teacher and his mom also being an English teacher, and it's part of the reason they moved up here. They kind of met each other, and then they realized, oh, we have sons that are in the same age. So that's how I met him. And then our relationship has kind of grown from there, just through a lot of sports and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you guys consider yourself kind of best of friends?
I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
I would say yes, for sure. Lifelong.
For sure.
So, Connor, tell me a little bit about Caleb, man. Tell me what's your favorite thing about Caleb Zuber, and what upsets you the most about him? What irritates you the most? How's that? You'll get your turn too, Caleb.
All right.
Okay, so Caleb, my favorite thing about Caleb, and I feel like a lot of people would say this about him, is he's just, whatever he does, he's just so passionate about it, like, I mean, everything he does, he's always said from day one, when I get older, I want to be a sports radiocaster, sports broadcaster. He's always said it. And I mean, next fall, he'll be attending a college where he can pursue that dream. And not many people can say that. A lot of people change what they want to do, and a lot of people they don't chase after what they really want. And Caleb, he's always passionate about what he wants. In sports, playing basketball with him, he's always passionate about that. And I think that's what makes our relationship close. Is, I mean, I'm very passionate about stuff too, and just that's probably my favorite thing about Caleb. My least favorite thing about Caleb is he's always been better at basketball than me, and sometimes it aggravates me because when we play one-on-one or playing against each other, he can always hit a jump shot right in my face, even if I'm right there, and that's always bothered me a little bit. But yeah, those are the two things.
Caleb, the same question is for you about Connor.
I think the best thing about Corn Dog is he has a good heart for other people. He knows that, how do I put this? He doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and that's a great thing about him. He just wants to have everybody who he's around. He just wants them to have a good time. And whenever I'm with him, I always have a good time. My least favorite thing, probably his love for Matthew Stafford and never calling him out for not getting the Lions a playoff win. That's a minor issue I have, probably. There aren't many issues I have with him, but that's one that whenever we debate sports, it always irks me a little bit. So I'll say that one.
Of course.
Connor, a devoted Lions fan and Matthew Stafford fan, obviously.
Oh, yeah, big Stafford guy, big Lions guy.
And Caleb, with you being a Colts fan, man, at least you're not in the same division with one another.
Yeah, no, that would be definitely 2 times a year going up against him. I think it'd be fun. I remember one of my best memories I have with Connor is we went to a Colts Lions games 8 years ago. Colts at Lions, and Colts scored a game-winning touchdown with no time on the clock. So whenever we talk about Colts Lions, I always try to bring that up and remind him, like, we both did see that in person. So
every time.
Caleb, I heard a nickname you had for Connor. Is that what I heard?
Oh,
K-Dog?
That goes way back. Corn Dog.
Corn Dog.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Goes way back. Corn Dog, you can explain.
Yeah, I'll go. So when I first moved up here from Kentucky, that's where I was born. One of my first friends who I met at the Y in daycare was Nate Miller, and he has a cousin named Connor. So long story short, they called him Corn Dog, and when I moved up here, I kind of just adopted that nickname, and here we are about, 12, 13 years later, and it's never gone away. I get called it by everyone. So,
do you have a nickname for Caleb?
I mostly just call him Zuv. Zuber,
okay.
Just his last name. Zuv is the big one. That's what a lot of people call him.
So, Connor, next year, where are you heading to?
I'm heading to Trine University in Angola, and I'm playing football, and I'm studying business and sports management. and might minor in communications. Haven't really decided, but I think I'm going to. So
that should be a great place to go. Great school. Now I'll tell you, I've got to tell you this, man. I'm doing the Albion Brits football games right now. Okay, so if you're going to have a bad Saturday afternoon, okay, I want to see it in Albion, or I want to see it when Albion comes to your place. How's that?
That sounds good to me. Sounds good to me for sure.
Caleb, I know where you're going, but I don't know that everybody else does. Where are you heading next year?
Going to Ball State University, major in communications with a dream of being a sports broadcaster.
Yeah, though it should be a whole lot of fun. Now let's get to some a couple serious businesses. How's that? At first, I need to know kind of what you're going to take out of Bryan High School with you right now. What's your favorite memory, Connor, of the entire experience going to school in Bryan?
Well, my favorite, there's a lot of them, obviously. I mean, growing up here in Bryan's a great place, great community, endless support from everyone. But probably just my favorite memory is seeing at every single sporting event that I've ever went to or that I participated in, just like the endless support from not only our friends and parents and community, but just the Bryan High School staff in general and just the people that we have in the school system. They're just great people, always showing us support in whatever we do, not just knowing us as their students, but also knowing us as just people and being nice and always being there to support us in whatever we do. That's probably my favorite thing is just the community aspect of this town and the high school in general.
Caleb, same question.
Yeah, I think the best thing that I've ever witnessed as being a part of Bryan High School is just it kind of goes along with what Corndog was saying. Just the passion, the excitement that I feel in the building on a football Friday or when the basketball team has a game. Those are the things that we as students get up for every time. And I think I'll miss that a little bit. Just that kind of feeling you get on a football Friday or something like that. I'll just miss going to, a lot of our friends went to soccer games. We went to volleyball games, like sports that, I'm not a huge soccer fan. I'm not a huge volleyball fan either, but just going to support those things were, to me, what sticks out the most about the type of kids that we have and the type of, just everybody in our community, how they are.
Okay. Caleb, I want some dirt now, man. There's got to be some secrets out there at the high school and the school system that any of the juniors or the sophomores or the freshmen don't know about, but a wise old senior like yourself has already figured it out, man. So give me that secret. What does an underclassman right now need to know to be able to survive those years that they got ahead of them to become a Caleb Zuver or a Connor Arthur?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you want to be anything like me. So let's just get that out the way right now. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for underclassmen. But no, I don't think there's any real secret for how you go about your high school career. I think you as an individual have to figure that out for yourself. You have to figure out what your goals are and what you want. And I think that you have to go after it that way. There's nothing that I could say and I could say everything I want to you, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how you want to go about things. So I really don't have any secrets. It's just, you got to choose your own path and what you want.
Connor, what can you add to that?
I would say there's one big secret, and I would say it took us a while, I think, as us seniors. Maybe it didn't take us as long as most it'll take, but just one big thing is you just gotta be yourself, man. Especially our senior year, I feel like my friends and I, we just were ourselves. We just had fun in everything we did. And I think that's just a huge part of high school. some things you may not want to do, but like if you're there with your friends and you make it a good time, like you can make anything fun. So I'd say like just be yourself and like take advantage of every opportunity you get, because I mean, it's hard to say, but sitting here today, I got 2 months till I head off to college, and I'll never get to experience those high school events or things with my friends ever again. Like it won't be the same. So I'd say just be yourself and enjoy the moment is what I'd say is huge key.
Caleb keeps getting photobombed there. He's got help. You getting lunch served to you right now?
Yeah, she's asked me if she wanted to make something for me. So
man,
yeah, I do.
There's something you're going to miss out on. I'll tell you what. Next year at this time,
That's true.
nobody's going to be roaming around asking you what you want for lunch.
I know.
Yeah,
So I got to take advantage of it.
No doubt about that. So you guys are obviously pretty close. Was your senior class, pretty close as well?
Yeah, Caleb, I'll
Absolutely.
start on this.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think we were close, and as Caleb said earlier about going to support other teams and stuff, I feel like that is pretty much how we established a bond. Is, I mean, no matter what it was, what sport it was, we were always there to support each other. And I mean, support, that's one of the biggest things of friendship and just that bond. Like, I really think our class of 2020 was very close at Bryan High School.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'll tell you, I appreciate your time. I know it's Saturday afternoon. You have things going on, and I'm going to let you get back to them, okay? And I really appreciate you taking a moment and chatting. Connor, I'm looking forward to seeing you on a football field up in Albion, Michigan in a couple of years. How's that?
Sure, sounds good. Sounds good.
And Caleb, I'm looking forward to seeing you, somewhere on ESPN down the road, brother.
That's the goal. It's always been the goal. It's going to continue to be the goal.
Yes, sir.
That sounds good. Well, guys, I'll tell you, every time you get back to town, stop in and see me, will you?
Awesome. We will.
All right. We're celebrating the seniors of Bryan High School today. Caleb Zuver, Connor Arthur, my guests. Now we're back to Classic Hits, the Q 96.5 FM.